welcome back. So we are doing a thrift with me thrift haul thrift store challenge. This originally was supposed to be like a cheap thrift store thrifting thrift with me. However, I was like, you know what, this would be kind of fun if I did like a comparison haul. So today we are comparing expensive thrifting versus cheap thrifting. I know it's a little difficult these days to find thrift stores that are still really good when it comes to prices. So I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could actually find some decent things in my area. So this will be broken down to a thrift with me thrift haul, then another thrift with me thrift haul. Hope you're up for it. So we're gonna start off with the expensive thrift with me. So I have a total of 5 things from the expensive thrifting and 5 things, oddly enough, when I was cheap thrifting. But let's get into it. So we're going to do this in order of price. I'm going to start off with the cheapest item that I found, and I'm going to end with the most expensive item that I found while thrifting. So I walked away from a lot of stuff that was nice, and had it had a better price tag, probably would have picked up. The question stands, did I make the right call about these items? We'll see. So first up, and the least expensive item while expensive thrifting was this artwork piece. It is a vintage kind of like landscape piece, which is why I was drawn to it. I truly love artwork pieces when it has that kind of discoloration to it. So that's honestly what really drew me into this piece. The frame is pretty nice too. I don't see thin frames typically when it comes to like older style pieces. You can see in the picture that it's got a little bit of a water scene, and on here, if you can see, there's a boat and 2 people fishing, so I thought that was really cute. So this one was the cheapest at $9.99, which I feel at this point, the thrift store that I went to, most days you're not gonna find artwork under $10. So I won't comment too much on what I think about the prices because obviously it's expensive thrifting. But overall, I like this one. I like the style of it. And I have a few places in mind that I want to test out and see if I actually like it there. So next up is this cast iron bowl with a lid. I mean, seriously cute. This is from 47th and Main. It did have the original sticker on it. It's a really small size, but it's really cute and adorable. So the price on this one kind of shocked me. I know it is like a cast iron piece, but it still really shocked me. It was $12.99 for this. And then it made me curious as to how much it was sold originally. So I did a little research. I went on the website, 47th and Main, and I think it said in a case it was $46. Per piece, $23. But then I saw this style without the lid. And although I didn't know the dimensions of the picture I was looking at, this kind of style without a lid was $14. So based off of that, I didn't really get that good of a deal, but that's okay. Though I do know it's for like intended for a kitchen. Just a really cute piece. I definitely style this on like a stack of books on my coffee table or something along with other trinkets. But this is not the only one that made me question things. Next up is this brass bowl right here. This is not the first time that I've ever thrifted a brass bowl, nor will it probably be the last time that I thrift a brass bowl. But I will say This is the first time I've spent this much on a brass bowl. This is probably the most expensive brass bowl I've thrifted, which is kind of surprising because I feel like they're a dime a dozen. And even if they're not real brass, you can still find really good like mimic styles of it. What I will say about this one that I really liked was the fact that it was like a pedestal bowl. Isn't as curvy and bulbous as most brass bowls that I've found. And I really liked the edging detail. It's almost like a twisted rim. But this price was also $12.99. Which typically, I think the most I've spent thrifting a brass bowl was $6, and it's a decent size too. So more than double than what I've thrifted before as far as just pricing wise. I just think it's a really cool style, vintage, but still really current, and yes, all the feels with this one. And yes, I definitely wouldn't mind another brass bowl in my home. So next up is what I would consider the best deal out of this expensive thrift haul. So I picked up this basket right here. The weaving on it is almost immaculate, which is really nice and hard to find these days. Very sturdy as well. It is a basket that actually has a decent structure to it and a very firm structure at that. So I feel like this is one of those ones where you could put a lot of weight into it. Also, I do really love the handles. Coil wrapped handles are always a fan favorite for me. I mean, this could easily be like a blanket basket. It could be a toy basket. I mean, even if you wanted to, it could be just another laundry basket. And as I mentioned before, this was the one that I felt like was probably the best deal. So this one was also $12.99. I mean, I guess $12.99 was really like the number on someone's mind as they were pricing items. But yes, this storage basket will definitely find some good use in my home. And last but not least is the most expensive item that I picked up. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on this though, so let me just show you the last piece. It is this mirror right here. I fell in love with it for obvious reasons. I love the wood detailing at the top, the ornate detailing of the overall frame. So a vintage mirror that is very on trend for what you see style-wise right now. And I also really love the fact that the gold that it's painted is not so yellow. It kind of mimics aged brass to me, which I am absolutely in love with. That's perfect. I was shocked when I saw the price though. This was actually a thrift store day where I was seeing like astronomical prices. So yeah, I was looking at those prices and you would think me seeing this price, I'd be like, well, it's not as bad as what I'm seeing. And if you feel a certain way, let me know in the comments. This was $34.99 at the thrift store. Do you think that's a lot for a thrift store? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think I overpaid? Like, just let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is definitely the most expensive item I've ever thrifted at a thrift store that was not a furniture piece. So I do love this mirror, but I'm also very torn for paying that price. But I think this is a good representation of the kind of thrift stores that I want to stay away from at this point. Good inventory won't balance out the hole in my pocket that I'm going to be burning if I continue buying stuff here. So for me, I think this is a good indication that maybe it's time to like branch out and find other places to thrift at. And with that, that is the end of the expensive thrift haul. So let's jump to cheap thrifting. So this is what I got when I was cheap thrifting. 5 items as well. I definitely feel like I should have gotten comparison items. So if this is actually a video you want to see again, I can definitely do that moving forward. But once again, we're going to start with the cheapest item and work our way up to the most expensive item. So the expensive thrift haul, the cheapest item was $9.89. In this thrift haul, the cheap thrifting haul, the most expensive item was $5. So everything was $5 or under, which honestly can't complain about that. But let's get started. So first up is a vintage book because I love collecting vintage books. It is actually this Pinocchio book right here. So this overall color of this is almost like rust orange. Really pretty, and it has gold lettering as well as obviously the illustration in the front. So this one is obviously a children's book. And the writing obviously is much larger, so made for a child to actually read. And it also has illustrations inside of it too. Fortunately, I could not find the copyrights of this, so I don't know how old this is. Still really happy I found this one. This one at the thrift store was only 99 cents. It is a lot harder to find vintage books for decent prices, so I was happy when I saw 99 cents for this one. Okay, next up is this piece right here. So if you follow me on Instagram, I usually do like a buy it or leave it when I'm thrifting, just to see if the things that I'm finding in store are they things that you would pick up. And when I asked about this one, I was like, I'm not sure how everyone else feels about this one, but I really like this one. I've definitely changed. I've grown a lot when it comes to like what I want in my home, what I want styled in my home. I think there were 2 other art pieces that were similar in this style. Because of the price, I was so tempted to kind of just pick them all up. But this one really spoke to me, and I also felt like I really should leave the others behind for someone else to enjoy. And this is also like a perfect size. You could put this on a bookshelf. You can hang it on the wall if you want to. So this one was only $2. $2 is great in my opinion. I think that's a great price for artwork, and I would love to find that kind of price more often. Unfortunately, I don't though. Okay, next up is this candlestick holder. So it's funny, I think I saw 2 pairs of brass candlestick holders, one while expensive thrifting and one while cheap thrifting. Did not pick them up and thought, wow, I am turning a new leaf, good for me. And then I picked this up. I love these styles though, and I really love the ones that have like the finger hold so you can carry it around while it's lit. It is very tarnished, and I don't think that's an indication that it's old. And rose gold isn't something that I typically thrift for. It's really all copper and brass for me. But it is nice to find something different and actually like that you find something different. So this one was also $2, just in the range of what I spent for as far as candlesticks go. This is actually a pretty good price for one candlestick holder, so I'm not gonna complain about that. I think it's great and I love it. Next up is this artwork piece. This is also something that I featured on my Instagram of the buy it or leave it that I always play. I don't know how everyone else feels about like hand-painted art, but if I could always find hand-painted art at a decent price, I probably would almost always pick it up. I don't care if it's an actual well-known artist versus someone who just enjoys painting. That has no bearing on whether or not I'm going to put it on the walls. It is solely on whether or not it speaks to me. And this one was just like giving me all the feels. And I'm even seeing it on the camera right now, and I'm like, wow, that even looks even better like farther away on the camera. So frameless artwork is not something I really have in my house. So I think it would be great if I could find a frame. However, this could stand on the wall all by itself. And even the colors too, like purple is not something that I have in my house, but I don't care. And the price was $3 for this. So yes, hand-painted piece, $3, sold. Okay, and last but not least is another artwork piece. It is this one right here. So again, I was really vibing with the idea of like aged, weathered artwork. So having it look older than probably what it was made to look like beforehand. This one is very yellow. It kind of doesn't feel intentional, but maybe it is. Even if it was just made to look old, I still really love it. But you could tell by the frame around it too that it's definitely seen better days. Again, for some reason though, I feel like the artwork doesn't match the frame. But my thought was maybe this isn't the original frame that went with it. So personally for me, it is a cute frame, but I do feel like it'd be better off in a different frame. I'm thinking actual warm wood tone frame. And this one was the most expensive piece of the cheap thrifting thrift haul. And this one was $5. So $5, I still don't think that's a bad price for artwork, especially if it's artwork that you really love. If $5 is the most I was gonna spend while cheap thrifting, I think that's a pretty good day. So cheap thrifting versus expensive thrifting. Obviously, it's very easy these days, at least in my area, to find expensive thrift stores and expensive items that you normally wouldn't pay that much for. So finding the stores that are actually still decently priced is much more challenging in my opinion. I also wanted to do this video to kind of show that while it's very easy to find nice things at the expensive thrift stores, I definitely make the mistake of always counting out the ones that just doesn't have the inventory being the best every single day because of the fact that, you know, I struck out a few times there. And for me, this was kind of like a good wake-up call to be like, don't count out those kind of thrift stores. Like, yes, you may have to rummage through shelves, and yes, you might have to go there more often, but you might be surprised. But if you like this video or if you liked anything from the haul, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on expensive thrifting versus cheap thrifting, what you liked, what you think I spent too much on, what you think was the best deal of this haul. Definitely let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I want to say thank you so much for watching and thank you for thrifting with me. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one. Bye!